Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Art of the Oracle. I'm delighted to be able to read for you. Once again, we are using the Journey, which is this wonderful oracle deck to find where we are on our journey in the universe. And then we have very, very powerful deck by Krans, which is the Archetypes, the Wild Unknown. We're following it all up with solid foundational tarot cards just to clarify anything that's going on in the reading today. This is a collective reading. I do them daily, and I hope you enjoy this message. As always, I tap in and just sit quietly and ask if there's anything that I need to know. What I heard was that there is, the words I heard was there is a great rumbling that is going to occur. And it is for the highest good of all of us, but it'll be sold as something other than what it is. And that it's very important for us as individuals, seekers, to really trust ourselves. It's because we have a deep knowing, but outside of us sometimes there's always telling us they're this or, you know what I mean, to follow different ideas. And the truth is always found deep within us. So to trust whatever it is, even if it doesn't seem like it jives with what other people are saying. It's not about other people, it's about you. All right, so let's dive in once again with the archetypes. We're gonna see if we can open them up a little bit more. They have been a little sticky. I feel like they're slowly unveiling brand new information, which is extremely exciting. And I keep hearing that because they are so sticky, it is really good for me to open the deck instead of what normally happens. If you're new to the channel, you won't know, but the cards typically jump out. So I'm going to ask for what is the information that we need to know on this day. All right, here we go. Ooh, the Destroyer, that's Empress. And I feel like the Mountain is also important at this time. Okay, so those two feel very exciting. Now, I'm not sure that I've ever had the Destroyer out, and we see this, it's interesting, we see this focused energy. And the last message when we did yesterday's reading, if you didn't catch that one, you might want to go back and check it out, but there was a card that had a focus, and what I heard and saw was that there was going to be like excuse me, not somewhat of like of an explosive moment or something that was going to, I don't remember exactly the words I said, but I can see that it was somewhat like this, but it was yellow, and it was going to be a moment of impact or a moment of something happening. And then I'm hearing it again when I was going into my meditation, and it's reminding me here. Now we have two eyes, and then we have these gold coins on the outside and a gold ring in the middle. And I'm not sure, I'm not familiar with this. This is card number 23. This looks like wolf eyes is what it looks like. And there, it looks like there's going to be something that comes together, maybe a meeting of one thing and another. And it may create, a third object, something, because we have these two here, and then here we have two eyes. Everything is in pairs, and it seems to be that there's going to be a focus around something that's connecting that could possibly change something that is going on. I know that seems very vague. I'll go to the guidebook and get more information. Now the Mountain is card 33, which I love. We've got threes all week long, and that's why I think that this was also important to come out. And the Mountain is about the awareness of going into higher levels of what I'm hearing is, I'm hearing information that we have to go higher. We have to kind of go above the shadow of the trees, so to speak, like it shows in this card. We can't. That's why I think what I was hearing was to go within, like to trust what we feel is going on, not necessarily what we're being sold on the outside. Because in the confusion or the chaos of what all the conversation is about, there is something that is outside of that. So this could be like shadowed, but we really have to rise into something beyond the disturbance to be able to really see it. Like you can't see the forest for the trees kind of situation. Well, let's go to card number 23 and see what that one has to say. Now, each one of these, as I've been saying all week long, is an aspect of some part of ourself. That's what the archetype is. And so this is part of the self. So we do know that we have the ability to ruin or destroy or change how things are. The destroyer is the unexpected thing. It says the destroyer, the final of the 3 archetypes in the trio of existence. So that's really interesting because I think that we had one or the other, but I don't know what the 3 actually are. Oh, it's the creator. Yeah, the creator was one of them. So we had that, I think, also yesterday. So it says the destroyer has necessary yet painful work to do in the world. Culturally, we have an aversion to endings, and we hang on to permanence as a signifier of success. Yet the destroyer pulls the rug out from underneath relationships, jobs, homes, and security. It's the part of us that wants things to end. Wow, the destroyer does not let us linger long in comforts, as it knows not much happiness in that realm. Okay. Hold on for the ride. The destroyer has arrived. In the old mist, this is the moment when heads begin to roll, the ground opens up, and the castles crumble. Wow. Okay, so that's not what I expected. I don't know what I expected for today, but it wasn't that. So are you feeling that? Because that's what I've been feeling over. Even when I sat down, I had this feeling that something really big was going to happen. And that's what the cards are telling us. And then again, to go back into the 3s, right? This is the 3rd card. It said in this series, now we have the mountain, which is the ascent. The mountain stands eternally in our awareness, calling us towards its peak. It's about us needing to go above the chaos of what's happening below. The mountain can affect us in 2 ways. It can inspire us and enliven us to rise to new heights and experiences, yet it can also create isolation and competitiveness where we feel like we're better than because we've reached those particular points. It says, let's see, if you think it's all about going up, you're following the fool's paths and missing the miner's magic, which it says here, like the miner is all about finding the gems and the jewels hidden inside. And that was one of the things that we also had this week. We had the card literally about the gems and the gem being found within. And then there's something deeply held within what the gem contains. It's more than just what it seems on the surface. There is mystery, there is information, there is collaboration, and yet the gem in itself is created through the pressures of change, which is what this is bringing in. So hang in there with me. Let's see what is the journey asking us to take a look at, because this really does feel like it is okay. So these cards are falling all over the place. So it tells me that there's a lot to go on, and I feel like that's the leap that needs to happen, because we are the other cards that were coming is connected and abundant. There's all these cards, but I was feeling this one was different than all of these. They were all going in one direction. This one was going in a different direction, which tells me that there is something that it's really asking us to trust, which is what I heard as I was sitting down, in something that is going on. We need to trust and have faith within ourselves. And I think that that's what the leap is to trust that this moment is changing, but in its change, it's creating something that is very important for us. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. Wow. It says, the star is calling out to you. It may not be easy, but small steps will get you there. Trust the process and stick with it, knowing that you went after your dream may just inspire those around you to do the same. So sometimes we don't, like even this message, you know, I could look really silly by saying all these things. I'm just telling you the feelings that I'm getting, the information that I'm getting. They can be completely off base, or it can be something very personal. I ask for my ego to step aside and for whatever wants to be revealed to be revealed. And I'm doing the best I can in the situation. Sometimes the information might be uncomfortable. Sometimes, I mean, I prefer to show information that is, you know, happy. And not that this isn't happy, but what this is saying is this is kind of like the Tower card that's telling us a massive disruption is happening. And it seems to come out of nowhere, but we kind of all know that it's inevitable. And so it happens, but none of us really want it to happen because it's easier to just go along the status quo. And this is saying it's not a time to do that, that we literally have to rise above. And we do that through difficulties, change, trusting in ourselves, moving forward, and going with the belief that this moment, that we are here on this planet for a particular moment, and we are here to help with what I'm hearing is the ascension of the whole planet. Like, we are here for a reason. None of what is happening is by chance or by accident. It's just that some people or some groups might have a different agenda, or they may see it differently than you may see it. Not saying this is wrong and this is right, but now we've been asked to make a choice, and that is something that I feel like we've all pretty much already done. And so now's the time that we're going to see what this shakeup is all about. Okay, so we got quite a few cards here. Let's see what's happening. In the Six of Cups, this is a very unique version of the Six of Cups, right? So the Six of Cups is generally like giving and receiving, and we're getting to see what it is. But I always find this one fascinating because, as you can see, there's like it's like the angel and the devil situation, and everybody is sitting and watching the show. And I think that that's really relevant right now, because I feel like that's exactly what's going on. Is we as human beings have been watching the show for a really long time, and that's all it's been, is a show. And it's left us a little bit, you know, wanting more to see, and then but keeping us out of the thing that we should be doing. And I say that lightly, like each one of us has something that we came here to do and to be a part of. So we did have the Chariot yesterday saying that something major is here to move us forward. And I am putting it over here because I also feel like this point in time is exactly this point, is that we are moving forward. We're moving forward quickly. Again, I'm noticing the 3 stacks, smokestacks below, but they kind of feel like candles to me. Like there's something that's coming in threes. There's double 3s here, 23 here. 2 and 3 creates the change of 5. Now we have 7, another minor arcana card. This is about testing the waters and having choices about what you're going to do with your world, your life. How is it playing out? This is about somebody, you know, experimenting, like, what do I need to do to create, yes, another opportunity for myself? That's what the 7s are about. The 7s are about opening up to some sort of change. Now we have more pentacles, and this is generally around loss. So this is around not feeling grounded or secure. It could be the major shakeup that is creating that for us, is that there's something that's happening right now that is creating the feeling of not being connected, and that we don't have the choices that we really have. And it's time for that to change. Because it is a 5, it's in the middle of the, you know, obviously 1 through 10, the middle of that is going to be 5. And that's saying that we have to make a choice about where we're going in terms of being able to understand what we're meant here to do. Now we have the Page of Cups, which is generally what I'm getting, the energy that I'm getting from this card. It's almost like, see how he's tickling underneath his chin here of the fish. The fish to me is about something new that's coming out, and the page is all about newness. It's about, you know, having something a youthful idea of something to happen. And this feels like that's what it's doing. It's like coaxing a new opening within our heart, a new thing for us to love and to move forward. And this, in the Eight of Cups, it's like there's a rejection of that. It almost feels like there's a rejection of the old. That's what this card really represents. Sometimes it is seen as walking away, into a new day. And that's what this is doing. It's leaving behind the thing that hasn't been working. It's like sometimes we're afraid to change because we feel like that change is harder than staying where we are. And this is not that time. This is talking about change. This is kind of a nostalgia card. These little minor influences is what this is. These are minor influences that are telling us that, we have been kind of in a trance. That's what these people all look like. We've kind of been in a trance, watching other people play the game. And now it's time for us to test what is it that we want, to make the choices, because so far it hasn't been fruitful for everybody. And that's what this time is asking us to do, to walk away from those things that haven't really been working for us and to take a chance and kind of like coax the thing out that we have really wanted in our life. Like what we've seen earlier in the week, it's about coaxing forward that dream, that wish. That's what I heard at the beginning of the week, the importance of leaning into that. So something really big is coming to shift the world. And I don't know if it's the comet that I have seen. I've seen some information where there's this big comet out there with a really big tail. And yesterday, one of the cards showed this thing wrapping around the earth. And that was what I thought of when I looked at it. But who knows, right? If the comet comes and creates some sort of dynamic with the earth, it was what was meant to happen. I feel like I keep looking at these cards like there's one more card. I feel like the last message, please, because it's been really like a lot of information all week long. Okay, so this is the Knight of Cups in the world. Yeah, so this is the end of a particular cycle. That's what the world is. And it was here hiding underneath the Knight of the Cups. So the Knight is, this is a movement card. This is just past this page where he's kind of exploring what it is that he really desires in the world and wants it to come forward. It's time to move gracefully and happily into the new world. It is happening for all of us, and all of these changes and everything are taking us in to this moment. And I can't help but notice that this is this very watery feminine energy showcased here in like a mermaid energy for the world. And it's looking at the past, but pointing to something above and beyond. And she's holding these fiery wands. So the water has the ability to put out the fire, but does not. It chooses to like hold it proudly because change is exactly what we need. And that's what I'm feeling in this card, is almost like a feminine energy that's coming through, creating this deep change. Everybody looks relatively smiley, even though they look a little ominous, but it's like they're all happy about the change. Things that did not work in the past, they're only worked for a few. The games that were being played, the things that seemed like they weren't here for all of us are changing. It's time to leave the things that aren't working, lean into the wishes, the hopes, the dreams, move forward steadily, despite what's going on the outside world that seems a little chaotic. And if something happens that's like explosive, we'll say, trust your instincts on that, because there's something at play here that is creating a collision. I feel like that's what I'm hearing, is like we're on a collision course of sorts. And I think we're all going to find out what that is soon enough. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the message. Until tomorrow, have an amazing day. Bye now.